everybody, welcome to Learning Liberty. Today we have two very special guests, Kurt and John. Kurt and John, thank you so much for joining us today. We came here to ask them some questions about what they do. My first question for you both is, what is a watchdog?
What is a watchdog? Well, a watchdog is a dog that watches. Actually, in local government, we refer to a watchdog as someone who keeps an eye on the local government to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
On top of keeping an eye on local government, we inform the public, the taxpayers, so they know what their local government is doing.
We are learning about the biggest issues of our time, including how government works. How does what you do fit in?
Well, what we do is we try to see that local government bodies hold meetings that are open to the public and that the public knows when those meetings happen so they can decide whether they want to show up and listen to the meetings.
Ben Franklin was asked a question, what kind of government did you give us? And he said, a republic if you can keep it. And the one thing we found is we've not taught our society what it means to keep it. So as a watchdog, we try to show people how to enforce the local rules and laws so that we can keep the government we have.
How and why did you get started?
How much time do you have? I got started over an ambulance call. I'm an EMT, and we had a 911 call for an 11-day-old baby that wasn't breathing. Turns out the baby was fine. It was a young mother who really didn't have any parental experience. I went to a local 911 meeting, and I asked them why nobody was talking to her on the phone and asking the appropriate questions to help her. They told me they don't do that. Well, that's not accurate. When people call 911, there's a protocol that should be followed, and I asked if they were certified to even take those calls in dispatch, and they told me they were. They lied to me. So when I found out that they were going to lie about that, we realized that they weren't going to be honest about a lot of things, and that's how I got started.
I got started in a similar, well, not similar, far from similar, but I went to a board meeting and I was lied to by the board that I went to, and Kirk and I met each other at dinner. We never saw each other before that, and just decided we were going to do something about it, and here we are today.
Why doesn't our media tell voters about these things so voters will know?
Well, that would be a great question for the media. Unfortunately, a lot of local reporters, they live in that community and they know a lot of those people, so they're reluctant to say anything negative about it. So a lot of times we don't get the truth because of personal friendships and fear of repercussions from exposing what's going wrong.
Have either of you been threatened because of what you do?
Yes, most recently we were receiving a lot of threatening messages to our website, and some young fellow opened up his own website to threaten us, but we found out who he was through the court system and subpoenaing GoDaddy.com, who provided the person's name, and now he is too scared to give us any more threatening messages.
The answer in short is yes, but the fact that you asked that question is very important. When it gets to the point when we actually are being threatened, that means we've lost control of our government. We should never fear our government. Our government should fear us. We're the ones in charge of it.
What is is your favorite story that you have broken so far?
The favorite story. Wow, that's a tough question. I guess you would have to define what favorite is. Probably our biggest story was when we uncovered our top watchdog, Auditor General Frank Martino. He's our Auditor General in the state of Illinois, and we've uncovered and exposed that he was using campaign money in violation of the law. Now, as a watchdogger, you would think they wouldn't do that, and he's under criminal investigation now. So that's probably our biggest story, but there's a lot of important ones. Our goal is to get people to do the right thing, and we've had public bodies that will reach out to us and ask us, are we doing this right, or can you help us? And those are the ones we really appreciate because they understand the importance of doing it right. So those are just as important, just a little bit different, situation to each of them.
What about taking your mission to other states too?
I'm glad you asked. We were in Indianapolis and South Bend, Indiana, in April. That was April, wasn't it? Yeah. And we were in New Jersey about a week and a half ago, taking our business to other states and teaching other people how to do what we're doing in Illinois.
Is there anything that our generation can do to help stop government corruption?
Probably the most important is to stay involved, go to meetings, make sure you read the laws that they're supposed to follow, and that way you'll find out when they're not following them.
Do you focus on Republicans or Democrats?
Well, our focus is on local government, and we don't care whether it's Republican or Democrat. We've taken down Republican chairmen, we've taken down Democrat chairmen. By exposing what they're doing wrong. So political party doesn't play a role, and I think the important part of being a watchdog is realizing it's simple and it applies to everybody, because all we do is look at the law and apply it to everybody equally.
Okay, thank you so much, John and Kirk, for joining us today. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
That's a wrap for today, folks. We'll see you next time on